All right, well, you're the originator of the meeting, so you actually control all the microphones, even though we can do it individually. But, yeah, we might as well get started. It's 7 o'clock now, so really the first order of business is welcome everyone. Okay, so the first order of business is for us to actually review the minutes from our last planning board meeting, which was November of 2019.
Right.
It's been a long time ago. I have to remember how to
It has.
So, have Kathy and Peter, have you had an opportunity to review those meeting minutes at all?
Absolutely.
I opened it up and I said, how the heck could it have been that long ago?
It's been that long ago, believe it or not. So. Well,
so you need a motion.
If there are no corrections or comments regarding the meeting minutes, a simple motion to accept the minutes into the record, and then we can move on to our agenda this evening.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve the 11/7 minutes.
Second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
There you go.
Okay.
Aye.
I remember. Aye. Okay. Peter, you're good?
I'm good.
Okay, Joe, meeting minutes are good? All right, so tonight we have two items of business in front of us. The Beeshers would like to do a little demolition and a new build of their garage, so we will give them the floor to talk us through their project. Very nice write-up. I assume you guys have seen the paperwork, the description, the drawings, so.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes.
You too? All right, so Bill, Mary Beth, the floor is yours. Want to give us a little walkthrough?
Well, thank you. We've been here over 30 years, and we've been using, have you been by to see the garage at all?
Yes, I have.
Okay, It's got sliding barn doors. They get stuck in the winter. You have to fight them. It's leaning more every year. The walls are trying to fall apart, but we put them back together with chains. And the roof line isn't straight. It really is time to stop fighting gravity on this garage and start over. So we love our house, and we plan to stay here. We're going to when we retire someday. We don't plan to leave. So we want a garage with electric overhead doors that you can open and close with a button instead of with brute strength. And we still need room in the back of the garage for snow blowers and shovels and such. So we want to rebuild it with two doors in the front, like in the drawing. And we want to move it back 6 feet because on Bill's side of the garage, it'll be tricky to pull into it if we leave it as close to the house as it is. And currently it's less than 10 feet from the lot line because we're on a narrow lot. It's only 60 feet wide. But it's not a straight lot line according to the map. And so by moving it back, we actually get further away from the line. So I was hoping that would be helpful. So we wanted to have the same character as our house has, with a steeply pitched roof also. I've shoveled off that roof with my roof rake way too many times. And so I really want this steeper pitch in the roof, and I think it'll look better. So we want to, have the same siding and have the same roofing and have it kind of match the house. Now the house has a 45-degree angle, so we're not going with that. But when we looked at the 8/12 pitch, it just seems too flat and too modern, and it didn't look as nice as the 10/12. The problem with the 10/12 is it makes it 19 feet 11 inches. And that's above the 18 feet. So we were hoping that we could have the very slate
connection just froze on you. If you can still hear me. Okay. Bill, Mary Beth, can you hear us? I think they're stuck. I wonder if they have green light down their street.
Did something.
There you go. You're coming back now.
We're having trouble with our internet.
Yeah. You have green light down your street yet?
Last froze again. I can see some now. Are we back?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. So, any questions?
No, I've actually I've reviewed the requests, I've seen the drawings, I looked at the supplied survey map, and frankly, I understand the issues of these old buildings being not what they used to be. They've aged in place, and sometimes they outlive their usefulness. The most, probably one of the most important aspects, obviously, was to get a recommendation from the Historical Preservation Committee. They looked at the building. They have deemed there no historical significance relative to the garage, so they have no issues with the building being torn down. So that was probably the biggest stumbling block. But obviously, it's not a stumbling block. And I have no issues or concerns other than, you understand, planning board tonight, it's a very simple motion for us to approve or make a positive or negative recommendation to the zoning board. The zoning board will act as the seeker authority. So it's basically, do we have any questions or issues or concerns with the size of the building, what you propose the building to look like? The requests for variances are, what they are, but those are all going to be resolved through the zoning board anyway. So if any of the other board members have any issues, Kathy, Peter, your turn.
No, I think,
It's presented to me.
Say again?
Peter, we couldn't hear you. I said I have no problem the way it was presented.
Okay. So Peter's good. Kathy, how about you?
yes, it's a nice home. It'll be a great addition to your property. I see no problem either.
Right. I mean, Mary Beth, you said you have a narrow lot, 60-foot lot. My lot is 50 feet. Every counts. An average depth of 262 feet. You have a huge lot.
But it's skinny.
By comparison, so
The depth.
so I did not hear any violent disagreement from any of the board members. I'm supposed to open it up for public discussion, so is there any public out there who wishes to express an opinion regarding this demolition and reconstruction of a new garage on the Beecher property? Okay. I don't hear any public response.
So what the approval needed from the planning board is under 17568 of the zoning code. This subsection B, demolition may be permitted only after submission and approval of plans for the site, including planning board approval for new construction, if any. We did away with the requirement that the planning board makes recommendations to the zoning board for the variance. That's solely their determination. They don't need your recommendation. What you need to do is approve the demolition and then approve the plans for the new construction. Or
Okay, so based upon Don's input there, it sounds like we need a motion.
so that would be the two-part motion to
Yes.
approve the demolition and to approve the building and the new construction.
Right. So first motion, necessary demolition of the property based upon the Historic Preservation Committee saying there's no historical impact. So a motion, Peter, Kathy, or I will make a motion for a approval of the demolition of the existing garage.
I'll second that.
And then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so motion is approved to demolish the existing garage. And now the second motion necessary would be to accept the new plan for the reconstruction of a new garage. Plans as presented with all the, niceties and size. The size is okay. The presentation of the garage, final construction looks good. So the zoning board will take care of the lot lines and all that other stuff and the variances. So a motion, Kathy or Peter care to make the motion for the acceptance of the new plans for the reconstruction of the garage or the construction of the new garage as presented.
I'll make that motion based on the plans as submitted.
Okay, and I will second.
Okay.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. All right, Bill, Mary Beth, you're off to the planning board.
Thank you.
Get your variances. Hopefully you won't have any issues with those guys, and then it's off to the races.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, guys. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bye.
Okay, second order of new business. The Chance Track Development over on State Road and 250 behind the Episcopal Church. Predmar Combs would like to talk through sketch plan review for the construction of the new townhomes. I believe what's the number?
116.
160 units.
116, 116.
Oh, sorry, 116. Yep. All right. So, James, I'll turn it over to you, and then Link, you can jump in and assist if there are any questions. So.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Just wanted to, I'll kick it off with what our plan is for the property, and Link can fill in any details as far as the engineering work that we've done so far and some of the research on the property. So our plan is, as you see, to build 116 ranch townhomes, all for sale. It's a mix of 3 and 4 unit buildings. The community will be very similar to what we're building currently on State Road. So it's really a continuation of the same type of homes and the same price point and floor plans. So the homes will range in square footage. As I mentioned, all ranches, 1,400 at about 2,000 square feet. We currently start at $265,000. Our average price point right now is $350,000. Demand has been very strong for us. We have, over the past few years, ramped up to the past 2 years. We've closed 26 to 27 units per year in that community. So it's been very good. We were starting off very busy this year, and obviously we've been on pause. So we're replacement. Some will have walkouts just depending on the grade. HOA for all the common area maintenance, the landscaping, the exterior of the homes, the buildings, the grounds. There's no age restriction. We don't put a cap on the age as far as no younger than. But based on what we've done in the past few communities, we've built this type of home in many towns. The Pittsford, Henrietta area, the many in Penfield, Fairport. Our designs really meet the needs of empty nesters and seniors. So we have very few young families or school-age children. The school bus currently does not go through Arbor Creek, even with 70-plus residents there now. So that's who it meets the needs of best. We have on the plan a community center. Our community center is intended for once we start back up with really neighborhood use and community gatherings. Residents use it. There's a small fitness center. There's a large community room, a kitchen, a large back porch for outdoor gatherings. And residents use it for community activities, community meetings. There's book clubs. There's different types of, euchre club, that kind of stuff that happens. And then people reserve it for private parties. If somebody has a birthday party or a baby shower or something they want to have, they can reserve the space for their own function. That's really it. We plan on it being a dedicated road, and we would obviously maintain all of the driveways and the snow removal and the lawns. And that's about it. Blink, do you have much to add there?
Just a couple. I'll just add a little bit about utilities and things. We got there's a sidewalk. We're proposing a sidewalk on one side of the road, and we're also proposing two access points, one off of State Road and one off of 250. We do know, in the letter I put in there that we know there's wetlands out there. We've tried to honor where we think they are, but we're working through with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. They're not currently reviewing things and looking at things, but we know we have to do that. And we also will be looking to see if we can get a variance for the front setback from 40 foot to 25 feet, which is typical of what Jim's doing in the other community areas around. 40 foot, pushing them back 40 foot is more than just a lot of extra pavement and driveway that they don't typically need all that additional pavement. So we're just because each unit does have a garage, and we also really tonight what we're looking to do is just get the board's feedback, any kind of feedback we can get, so that we can take that input and move forward into a formal application and review process. The preliminary application, once we come in with it, it'll include an engineer's report addressing the stormwater management and erosion control that's consistent with the DEC requirements for stormwater management. And also, I just wanted to mention, I think Jim probably planning on this will probably be 3 or 4 phases of of development. Well, wouldn't be one; it'd be a few different phases. But we like, the layout. We've tried to provide buffering around. There'll be just, like we're showing a pond off the frontage on 250. There'll be a pond on the east property line. That front area is a wetland that'll remain. So we're trying. There is some buffering, and we're trying to, buffer around where we can, which also helps with the reduction of the driveway lengths because we can sort of cluster the units a little closer to the road and try to save some of the green areas and things. So with that, I think we were just sort of looking to get feedback tonight and start working forward to the next steps in the process. So.
Peter, Kathy, would anybody care to start? I'll reserve my comments till later.
I guess I don't have any questions. I wasn't aware that you were associated with Arbor, the other development there.
Yes.
But I like the spacing between 3 and 4, and not any larger than that. It looks like a good plan.
else, Kathy?
No.
Okay, Peter?
I'm okay. It looks a little bit premature to have any complaints or criticism. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say kudos, yes.
All right. All right, so just a few typical things that always come up in any development of any nature. I don't see, and this always happens, is overflow parking, because sometimes, people have parties or guests come over to their units and they end up parking on the streets, blocking the roads. So I don't see any overflow parking.
Good catch. Right.
Um, How do you guys typically handle trash management? Is that on an individual basis, I would imagine? So,
The HOA, the individual with the HOA contracts, one contractor to come through, and it's all through that fee, so it's coordinated.
okay.
Yeah, and as far as overflow parking, we'll take a look at it, but we don't have a lot of overflow parking in Arbor Creek, and we don't have any issues with cars parked in the road. We don't see a lot of big gatherings at their homes, and oftentimes when there's a gathering, it's at the community center. We'll take a look at some supplemental parking, but we don't have a big issue with it where we are currently.
Okay. These are just typical things that might come up during just, throwing it out there for consideration. The other thing, what did I want to say? I do have 2 letters already from adjacent homeowners. I guess there are drainage issues associated with the existing site. Obviously it's an undeveloped site, so, Mother Nature is running her course. But running her course means that the water is leaving this property onto adjacent homeowner properties. And obviously this is an opportunity to potentially correct those drainage issues. So obviously, as the process gets further along, you'll be working with Army Corps of Engineer, checking your topography, making sure that drainage off the property is contained, and obviously working with the stormwater management facilities, whether they have to be enlarged, moved around, whatever. So it's just, I'm not going to read them at this point, but just I want it duly noted that 2 separate individuals have written in with drainage concerns on the adjacent properties to, I believe, to the east. So moving towards, heading towards State Road School in that direction. So, landscaping is always an issue. What about street lighting? Is there any street lighting for the facility?
Yes. We would plan to do street lighting.
Okay. And then another thing that comes up quite often is, and as you stated, this would probably be a phased development, and there have been issues in the past where developments stall or stop, and then the infrastructure is never completed. So we will have to look at that very carefully and closely to make sure that the infrastructure, especially roads, sidewalks, street lights, utilities, are completed so that, the rest of, phase 1 residents are not inconvenienced because the whole project potentially gets shelved. So those are just basic concerns that will come up during the course of this discussion. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. Other than that, I like the plan. I can probably envision myself, moving someday into a facility of this nature. I don't want to do this house forever, so. And I don't think my wife's ever going to let me leave the neighborhood. So we're here. So I want a nice place to be able to consider going to in the future. And I know you guys do nice property development. So
Thank you.
I look forward to this process continuing, and we will continue to field emails, issues, anybody's obviously, once it's open to the public, you know, when we're hopefully soon capable of meeting face to face and in public, that we can actually, you know, get a good discussion going. Mr. Barham, how are you, sir? You're on mute.
Late, sorry.
That's okay. Do you have any comments, concerns? We have stated a few things, but if you'd like to chime in.
No, well, a couple of things. Overall, based on previous projects and what we have accepted in the past, I actually like the footprint of this. The 4 unit as opposed to the 7 and 8 unit thing.
Right.
It's not overly dense. I know you're going to need one variance, guys, because of the wanting to be less than 40 foot in the front. I don't think that's a game changer, though. The only thing, which I'm sure Joe probably talked about already, is drainage is going to be a huge deal. So I'm sure you guys already talked about that. I know this is just sketch plan review, but please keep that in the back of your mind. I don't think this project is causing all the drainage issues, but everybody's going to be looking at that. You know, with every project there, Jim, it's going to be drainage and traffic. So.
Yes. And one other thing I wanted to just point out. As the process develops and stuff, I see like where some of the units are tucked into the corners off the roads. Are there going to be issues with fire truck access? Are they going to be able to get in there? Or is that, obviously the fire marshal will take a look at all this too, but just make sure that there are proper routes, turning radiuses, all that business, so that emergency vehicles have access. Some spots look tight, like because they're not roads anymore; they're just basically driveway extensions. So you have to make sure that we have first responder access, all pieces and corners of the property. But the buffering looks good. Obviously, we'll need landscape plans and all that stuff as you go further. But yeah, as Will said, the footprint is nice. I guess back when we met informally, you had an option. There was supposedly an option potentially in the front with a facility, and that's not reflected. So I take it that went away.
Yeah, I talked to them, and it was just too soon for them to get into the process. So I wanted to move forward and not wait.
Got it. And that was was that a dedicated senior living piece?
Yeah, what it was is the Rochester Presbyterian Home. It was a memory care facility that we've built 2 others for them in communities that we have, one in Chili, one in Fairport. And they've said they want to be in Webster at some point. So I reached out to them to see if they were ready, and it was just a little too quick for them, for their timeline.
Okay. All right. Okay. So there are no motions to be made tonight other than plan looks good. No violent discouragement to offer. And just work through the plans, work through the details, and obviously, it's maybe stepping forward. Obviously, you guys know what you need to do. RG&E, that's going to be a monster getting through them and all that business, but that's in your court.
Yeah, we've done it many times. When it's appropriate and when we're getting together again, it's nice that I have such a similar project right down the road. That, whenever we want to meet out there informally, happy to give a tour and you can see what it's going to look like someday.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I think that'd be good. Obviously, the key to all these things is good communication, good community involvement, and let's address people's concerns and, put any significant issues to rest before this thing even gets too far along, and then it should be hopefully smooth sailing.
Great.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Good.
All right.
Thank you for the feedback. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for the feedback.
care, guys.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Okay, with that taken care of, we have no more items on the agenda to address this evening, other than
Craig, I just want to bring up one question, if I could. So, if we are planning to have our next meeting, it would land on July 2nd. Now, I know often people go away over the 4th, but with circumstances as they are, I'm not sure that anyone will. But I'm just throwing out there in case somebody has plans around the 4th, that our next meeting would fall on July 2nd.
yes, I will not be around. I actually do have a place to go.
Okay.
I'm off the whole week of July. Well, actually, where's the calendar? What's July? At the calendar handy, what are the actual dates? What's the 4th?
The 4th is actually a Saturday.
Saturday. Because I know I took a bunch of days before the 4th and after the 4th. I think I took Friday and Saturday off, or Thursday, Friday off, and then Monday, Tuesday off. So, but definitely July.
Compass the 2nd.
I'm gonna have to check. I'm pretty 99% sure I'm not available on the 2nd. Let me get back to you tomorrow. Confirm for sure.
Okay.
And
Kathy and Peter, are you available if we went with the 2nd?
Yes.
Yeah, it seems that Chris is the only one with a convention.
People to see, But I will get back to you tomorrow definitively and let you know if I'm available or not.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Okay.
Since everybody's here, are there alternate dates, just in case?
How about the week after? The 9th?
Well,
If the week after is okay.
the 9th on a Thursday would be a village board meeting.
No.
We could do like Wednesday the 8th potentially. Or we could move it to the week
That's
after.
okay.
Yep. I think Wednesday works for me. I'll check. I'll give you the date, but
Okay.
and the second may be fine. Let me just verify here. In fact,
Okay.
let me see if I can pull up my calendar. Where the heck is it? Hold on.
I've got the Fireman's Carnival down on my calendar.
Put an extra that
Is it? No, I think that's
Yeah. That's a done deal, unfortunately. The first time in 80 some odd years they've had to cancel.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, there's the application for July? For July?
The only application I foresee would be, at least right now, would be the one we just saw tonight with the state road project. But I don't have anything pending that I'm aware of. Unless something came in while I was out.
Alright, so they haven't submitted a application for preliminary site plan approval or preliminary subdivision approval, right?
No, I mean,
Or it may be a movement anyhow about July.
it'd be pretty aggressive if they did.
Yeah.
But it was, from previous sketch plans, it was pretty comprehensive, from what I could see. I mean, they did a really good job. So I don't think they're too far off the beaten path for having a preliminary plan.
All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Joe, I did check my calendar. I did pull Thursday and Friday as vacation days. But if we can't find an alternate date, I could probably, although, yeah.
Well, we could do Wednesday the 8th if that works for everybody else.
I'm definitely here on the 8th.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll
8th is
plan
good.
on that pending if we even need to have that meeting.
So, if we have to have the meeting, let's just say definitively right now it'll be July 8th.
Okay.
Okay.
Very
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Okay, so last comment is, does anyone have any recommendations to the mayor for potential BB candidates? We're down, technically we're down 3 people, right? So,
Two.
Oh, if you're counting zoning, yes. Sorry.
Yep.
Wow.
so,
Unless we join them.
all right.
There
So,
are other villages that have combined them. I'm not sure of the specifics, but I know there are several other villages that have combined their boards, planning and zoning.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, okay, if there's nothing else to discuss this evening, obviously if anybody needs to take care of their training, guilty, we'll get to that and make sure that's taken care of. I am remiss. But I will catch you up after COVID goes away. All right, so
That would
with
be good.
that, if no one else has any other commentary, do I hear a motion to convene this meeting at 7:37 p.m.?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, good people. This wasn't as terrible as I had envisioned it might be. But
Went pretty good. Yep.
public commentary will become problematic, or could become problematic,
Yes.
if we're not meeting in person anytime soon, and this development starts getting legs under it. Obviously, people are gonna want to have their input. So
Okay.
we'll have to work through those issues.
A lot of it will probably come via email or letters that we get. Because we've already gotten a couple emails anyway, so.
Yes, I did point out the 2 emails that I had gotten already, just to warn them that there will be issues pertaining to drainage and things like that. So, but I'm sure Lincoln will address those things accordingly. He did say they obviously have to get deeper with the Army Corps of Engineers, wetlands, and all that business, but Army Corps is not reviewing anything at this time, so it'll be a process. Yeah, so that's why it'll be interesting to see if they're ready for a July meeting.
Well, they were calling the swale along State Road a navigable waterway. I said, are you guys out of your minds?
Paper boats.
Very
Paper
small.
boats.
Kayak.
All
All
right.
right, guys. Good to see everybody.
Yes.
All right. Okay, good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
I will.
Have a good weekend. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night.
Joe, don't go anywhere. Joe, go there.
Okay.
Leave meeting.
Okay. So now we're down to 4. They just like the Brady Bunch. So the other applicants, they went through.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Okay. And it's went quick. When I saw your email, I go, oh shoot.
Yeah, so they just
Unlock the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just did 2 motions, one to approve the demolition of the existing garage, and then the second one, to approve the construction of the new garage as the plans were submitted.
Okay, good. Good.
So, but then they still have to get a variance from
Yes.
CBA, right? Okay,
That's correct. Yep.
okay,
So we got for ZBA, we just got the 2 driveways and the garage then. Pretty sure, right?
yes,
Okay.
at least that's
I'll
all
try.
I have.
All right.
Okay, everybody,
All right.
good night. Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend.
Have a good night,